right, everybody. I think we're live. Hi, this is Shannon Pyle with Cinderella's Mice. It is 3:40 a.m. Arizona time. Um, I thought I would do a Beals haul. So Beals is like Burlington, Ross kind of a store. It's spelled Bealls. And I scored big time on Betsy Johnson. So I've shared a little bit about Betsy Johnson and how crazy my daughter is for it. And she's very hard to find. For me, anyways, it is. So when I go into like Burlington or Ross, I go through those stores thoroughly to try and find, um, stuff for her. Betsy Johnson is very expensive. She's very high design, and she's got some really good looking outrageous stuff, but that's also very stylish too. She has a way of doing that. She has that um aesthetic to her. So she what she can do really well is she can marry the circus and the ballerina together. Circus and ballet she marries together quite well in her designs. So I thought I would go over a haul tonight. This was my first time going into a Beals. I have not been to one in years. And thank you, Blessed Hands by Lillian, for taking us along on your shopping trip, because that's how I found out when she went. She did a come shop with me video, and she walked into Beals and was showing us what kind of a store Beals was, and what they had in the store while she was in there. And she came across and showed this whole Betsy Johnson display of the freaking purses. I was like, what? Guys, I stopped everything, picked up my purse, and went to the one down the street. So if you have stores like that, and it had been there, so this is a Beals that had been there for years. That store is closer to me than Ross and Burlington's both together. And I always thought it was like just one of those stores that was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a kind of like a wholesale discount store of like pictures and kitchen stuff, kind of a thing. And, so I was like, I didn't really think it was worth my time. And so when Lillian showed that, I just dropped everything, picked up my purse, went there, and sure as shit, they had a Betsy Johnson display. And it wasn't just like a display. Like, I went through the store and found some really good finds. So I'm on here tonight because KOK with KOK's Baskets and Gift Designs loves Betsy Johnson. So I was on watching Nicole with Divine Creations. I was watching her live, and commented what I was doing, and I was like, girl, I just scored big time on Betsy Johnson. And KOK commented, ooh, Betsy Johnson's my favorite. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and do a haul with my score of Betsy Johnson. So let's get right into it. Hello, person who commented with the gold medals and the smiles. I appreciate you. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And when I say scored, I mean, I'm talking freaking 7 Betsy Johnson purses. I love Gucci Couture. Just love Gucci Couture. They're very, I think they're very stylish, and they're not like overly done with it. I've been trying to shop for a new purse for a while. Let me see if I can find my old one. So this is my Coach purse. I did get this in Dillard's. This is a $300 purse. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Give me just a few, because I think you guys will appreciate this. All right, let me take see if I have one in here. All right, so this works, and it does. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something about these purses. First of all, I'm going to show you guys a quick way and how you can tell if something is real leather or not. This is a lighter. Okay. This is a real lighter. All right. I'm going to take the lighter to this purse, and it's not melting it. It's not doing anything to it. That means it's real leather. See that? That is real. That means this leather is real. Real leather does not burn. Okay. This is, the stitching is really well done on it. I'm very particular about purses. I like simple. I like practical. I like to be able to go. I don't want to have one of those big over the shoulder, need to have everything type of a thing. Gail, you're on live. Thank you, sweetheart. It's so good to see you. I was just showing my lighter trick. So I'll show this again. So this is a real lighter. One way you can tell, and it's with any kind of, you can do it with a wallet, any kind of leather, anything. If they say it's leather, and this is particularly the leather, not the suede, this is a way to check it. Real leather doesn't burn, okay? See that? I'm getting all up in there. Real leather does not burn. Okay? All right. I'm one of those that if I find something and I really like it and it's high quality, to me it's worth the $300. Okay? So this is a Coach $300 purse. I've had this for, I want to say 10, 12 years now. And it has held up really good. So I like to just be real practical. Really the only thing you're going to see in my purse is my wallet and my keys, a pen, and sometimes my phone. And that's it. See? And everything fits in here so nice and so good and everything, right? But I'll tell you what, it's starting to get worn. And because it's starting to get worn, I was keeping in mind a new purse, right? So if you want to know why some of these purses are $300, that's why. It's because the stitching is really good. The leather, it's real. You know, they put a lot of craftsmanship into this, and it's why it's lasted 10 or 15 years. This is ideal for a consumer like me. You know, I don't mind, like, I'm just one of those, I just want to pay for it once, let it last a long time, kind of a person. Now, you do have people who like the purse to match the shoes, the bracelet, the necklace, glasses, the hair ties, the whole thing. This, if you are, how do I want to put this? If you're not a rich person, and I got to be careful when I say rich because rich people do different things too. If you're one of those kinds of people, you know, you're probably going to be going to Walmart. You're probably going to be going to, if you're smart, Burlington's and Ross and get designer purses to match your shoes and your outfit and all that kind of stuff, because you can get that kind of stuff. You can get $200 purses for $20, right? I couldn't believe this. I was in Ross close to a mall and I saw Dooney and Burke. Do you guys know Dooney and Burke? Let me tell you about Dooney and Burke. Dooney and Burke is Dooney and Burke is, I want to put Dooney and Burke higher than Michael Kors, higher, you know, right up there with Coach. Dooney and Burke has been around for a very long time. They do hand tooled stuff. Their purses are like 500, 300 to 500. When I was in Ross last week, I found 2 purses that were $89. And then their MSRP was like, suggested retail price was $200 for those purses. I was like, wow, I did not ever think I would see a Dooney and Burt purse in these places, right? And so, I'm gonna keep my eye on them, of course, because they're just such a good, high quality purse. So anyways, enough on all that. So I just want to give you guys just a really quick tutorial on how you can tell if something is real leather. See this? Real leather doesn't burn, right? So, um, that's how you can do one of those. So this purse has really been through it. It's been, and it's still holding up beautifully. But I guess maybe after 10 years, I think I want to put it aside, clean it up, set it aside, and maybe start getting into something else. Because I'm like one of those, I just don't want to wear something completely out, right? Okay, so let's get into it. I just wanted to give you guys a real quick, if it's shoes, if it's a belt, a coat, purses, wallets, keychains, anything that they say is leather, you can do the lighter test. And if it doesn't burn, then it's real leather. Okay? So, let's get to it. With that being said, I wanted to show you guys what my new purse is going to be. I found this Juicy Couture. I know it's simple black and everything. I love it. It's a good over the shoulder. I'm one of those that when I carry my purse, I'm going to show you guys something. When I carry my purse, I'm really like this with it. Because if someone were to try and take it, it makes it very difficult for them to do that. But I really like to keep a good snug on it, right? I like to feel like I'm also put together. I don't like, you know what I mean? I just don't want to look like a disaster. The purses get too big and the heels get a little too high and I'm in a hurry somewhere and you guys don't even know what that looks like. So, I don't, I can't do that kind of stuff. It's a practicality kind of a thing. I'm handicapped and this works really, really well, but you're not gonna, someone's not gonna be able to come and snatch your purse that easily, right? So let me bring this down here. And I'm gonna lift you guys up. So see, and then I just kind of clutch it, kind of clutch it under here, and then I have my, over here when I walk. Okay, and they're not gonna, it makes it very more difficult for a purse snatcher to take it. If they have scissors and they're cutting straps, it makes that difficult for them to do. And it also, they look for easy targets. They look for the lady with the high heels, the bags, barely hanging on, and they look for people like that because they're easy targets. Easy to knock them up off their heels and snatch that purse and take off. Just a little bit of personal safety. I just want to give you guys some of that. So I got a new purse. All right, it's Juicy Couture, and let's see here. Ooh, I just really like the embossing. It was simply done, and it gives me just a little bit of something for style and design. I like the way the purse bag is shaped. Okay, and I'm really excited about this. So, like that little ornament. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Miss Independent shoulder bag. Retail on this is $79. Okay, and I paid $20, right? And they're also saying compared to, you know, other places at 40, other discount places or whatever have you, but 20. And this is a store tab. Like if you were going Neiman Marcus or Dillard's and look at this price tag is very real. $79. Okay. I'm going to I want to look and see because I was gonna do the lighter test on it, but not without Los Angeles, California. Nothing about this says that it's leather. It looks like it, all that kind of stuff, but I don't have really anything saying that it's genuine leather. So therefore, I'm not going to do the lighter test on this. So if you can pay for design and quality, that's where those big price tags come from. Sometimes you're paying for design, and that might be the case in this situation. But there is some pieces on here that look like they're real leather, but you know, I'm not going to do the lighter test on it because it doesn't say anywhere on here whether it's genuine leather. When I was looking at this stuff, it does, however, feel really well made. So maybe pieces of it's leather. I don't know if there's like a consumer guidelines to where if you know it's got to be a certain amount of leather before they state genuine leather to not throw the consumer off. But I do like Juicy Couture. And let's see here. Okay, it says man-made material. See, I did not see that. I just went crazy in the store when I saw Betsy Johnson and kept myself in mind and got this. So this is man-made material. I'll abate it. It feels really good. Really, really good. This part looks like it's leather, but I'm not going to do the lighter test on it. Because it doesn't say anywhere on here genuine leather, right? Now, if it said genuine leather, I would be taking the lighter to it. I wanted to state this is all leather. This Coach purse, it's all leather. That was another reason why I got this purse. Because it's all leather, you know, it wears very good. It's like something that gets better with use. So, okay. So, guess what? I'm still happy with it. I'm still happy with the purse. Even though it's not leather and it's man-made materials, I'm still happy with it. We'll see how long this purse lasts for. I'm curious to see. So, this is my new purse. I'm very happy with it. This is going to be my personal new purse. Okay. So I'm going to put this away for now. Yeah, it should be with the soft leathers too. All right. So I'm going to take this and just go ahead and tuck it away. So, you know, my daughter, I can't afford Betsy Johnson. And so when I come across her, I stock up on it. So when her birthday and Christmas, you know, and Valentine's and Easter comes around, those holidays happen, I have some Betsy Johnson to be able to give to her. So that's why. Now, if I were to take this stuff to the streets, and some people do, be very careful out there, guys. You know, there's people robbing at shotgun at gunpoint because those baskets are like $600 baskets. And people are being robbed point blank by shotgun for the baskets, for the money, for everything. So, you know, I don't do it for that reason. And I live in a very small area. I don't think most people around here even know who Betsy Johnson is. And if they did, these are my kind of customers in my area are come and go. This isn't a, um, this isn't your, they're not looking for necessarily a long time kind of a designer. It's just, they're on the lookout. They're going to stop. They're going to grab and go. And that's my kind of a thing. I haven't really had, a situation where, I do hand out my business card, but this isn't a situation where we have, people calling me up and asking me for an order. I don't do that. I don't have that kind of a situation going on. If someone did, have a situation where like that's the case, I'd consider it. Of course I would consider it. But I just want to let people know like what the dynamic is and what I have to gear towards for the customer base, right? I anticipate this purse is probably going to last 1 to 2 years, just because it's not real leather, it's not any of that kind of stuff. Now, when you have the person who, like I was talking about, has the 20 or 30 purses in their closet, likes to have a different purse with their shoes and that kind of a thing, this is what's ideal for them. Okay. I just felt like I just wanted something a little bit different. I just wanted to have a little bit something different. I want to know a little bit more about the products that I'm offering, right? So, or the products, like if I'm going to make a basket for a friend or a family member or something, I really want to know what I'm giving them. And if I have people who ask about stuff, I want to be able to offer them some kind of experience, so this is my new purse. So happy about it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and we're going to get into, doggone it, Betsy Johnson. All right, so I just couldn't believe it. She was up there on the display. Could not freaking believe it. This is a Betsy Johnson, and God, her purses are made so freaking good. Okay, this is the Love Betsy by Betsy Johnson. And I'm going to bring you guys down here gently so you guys can see her stuff. Isn't this gorgeous? I just think this is just so freaking gorgeous. She did a really good job on all of this. And she's the Hot Pink Lips XOXO as her business logo. I want to tell you guys, she's like Dooney and Burke when it comes to the quality of materials she uses. The stitching is so good. The thread's good. It's, it's embossed so nicely. And there's her signature right here with Betsy Johnson. All right, let's see here. And her styles, for her pricing varies, but they're saying MSRP is $72. I think if this was in Dillard's or Neiman Marcus, it would be a lot more. I think it would be like a $200 because her quality is so freaking good. Her designs are good. Everything about her is really good. All right, so I want to get into this because I want to see. And yeah, I've done that in the stores. I've taken lighters to stuff. I can do that, Yeah, to see if you're lying or not. People, I don't want to get like in a political matter because there's some things where, there's experience, hard-born and hard-won experience and what justice is. We have rule of law and bait and switch. We have fraud rules and regulations. We have copyright, counterfeit, theft of intellectual property for a freaking reason. because third world countries do that stuff. That's not what we're about, what justice is and justice for all is, and that's part of what that means. All right, so let's see. God, I love this purse. Oh my God, I love this purse. I really want to keep it for myself. All right, rarely do I do that kind of a thing. All right, it's so pretty, you guys. Get all that paper out of the way. All right, I'm just trying to look for, let's see here, looking on the tag that's attached to the purse. Okay, and it too says all natural made material, man-made, okay, man-made material, all natural. All right. So this has no mention of leather on it either. And I too will say, I'll abate, you know, this is a really good quality purse. For being man-made materials and stuff, it is. It's a good quality purse here. You know, this is just darling stuff. So I'm going to put this back because that helps to hold the form. I'm going to go ahead and snip off one of these tags. And this is Love Betsy by Betsy Johnson. So sometimes they have a, you know, they're going to do man-made. They're going to make, you know, use, you know, good quality materials with it. I mean, not good quality. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. All right. But you guys get the idea. So it also has the shoulder strap with it too. And it's just really, really cute. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, The Devil Wears Prada. Has anybody seen it? I think it came out maybe like in 2007, 2008. It's with Meryl Streep. It's called The Devil Wears Prada. And she's a real bitch in the movie. She's a real bitch, and what she is she's like this high fashion magazine editor. You know, she does like what the Michael Kors and the what do they call it, Project Runway people. Well, she's like that with a fashion editor magazine, you know, and it's a really powerful position. She's a person who can make or break designers. And there's this girl who just got out of college. She's a journalist. You know, she's got to start somewhere. Nobody's hiring her because she has no experience. And she had applied to that place. And, you know, Meryl Streep came in and, you know, because she's very hands-on, right? And she hired her, you know, but she gives her like sometimes these just because she's just, you know, having a bad day, like impossible tasks to feed. And this girl just, you know, she's, you know, making things happen, right? And so Meryl Streep was, you know, had the designers and they got their dresses out and they're going over everything. And the girl comes in and, you know, she's the kind of girl, you know, she shops in a thrift store. You know, she likes to be cheap. She doesn't have to have, you know, this kind of stuff. She sees this as being wasteful and vanity and ridiculous and that kind of stuff. And the reason why she's there is to just get experience, right? And Meryl Streep took a look at her and looked her up and down like this and said, "You want to know where that lumpy blue sweater came from that you just fished out of a thrift store?" She said, "It comes from places like this. It's copied from people like us who take hours and hours editing and going over things to put a sweater like that together just for someone else to come and take it." She says, "That's where this comes from." And I'd have to say that's true. It's true. I don't care what kind of people assholes are, they can be assholes, yeah. However, is there truth to that? Yeah, absolutely. These people, you know, um, when I was younger, I was like 30 years old, and had gotten a new job and was mindful of like my body and health and diet and exercise kind of a thing. And some of I am in recovery. And I was talking with my sponsor at the time, asked her, how her daughter was doing, and she said, "Well, she's doing terrible." I'm like, "Well, why?" She says, "Well, because she's not one of those pretty skinny little girls, and she's having a hard time getting a job because she's so overweight. People don't want to hire fat people because they think they're lazy." Maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe there's not truth to it. And I got really angry at her for a moment. And I said, "Well, you know what? It's hard work being those skinny, pretty girls." I was like, we're not just born like that, I take care in my diet and my exercise. I take care in my skills, and she's like, "Oh." I said, "So, you need to think twice before you start, judging the skinny, pretty girls, because there's a lot of work that goes into that." And she's like, "Oh." And I had her stop and think for a moment. She's like, "Okay, I'm going to keep that in my mindfulness, in my little tools here." Right? So, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, we get to have a little bit of that high design stuff. So this isn't something that we're just, this isn't just some blue lumpy sweater that we're fishing out of a thrift store, okay? Is what I'm trying to state. And I really had to adopt that in my mindset, like in my mindset. Because I guess ego comes in different forms, and I could be a real asshole and a real know-it-all at times when I'm being like, what I'm saying. And this is definitely okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. That's what I'm trying to say. So our lumpy blue sweater that we fished out of the thrift store today is our lovely Betsy Johnson. She's been around for, I believe, over 50 years. She puts a lot of time, effort, and craftsmanship, yes, craftsmanship, in this stuff. There is some things that I would buy if it's ugly, if I think it's ugly because of the craftsmanship and the quality of the materials. And yes, it's lasted 10 or 15 years. And why did I buy it? Because it lasted 10 or 15 years. Okay. Next lumpy blue sweater that we're gonna fish out from the thrift store is going to be this one here. Oh, I think this is so adorable. And it's a Betsy Johnson. And she puts these little cherries with it. Oh, I think it's so cute. Little fun little blingy thing. I think these accessories are becoming like maybe the new bracelet, kind of an idea. You know, that people are wearing. I'm not a jewelry person just because I don't like to get hung up on stuff. Um, I work. And when I work, I can't have that. And you won't see me wearing a lot of rings, bracelets, none of that stuff. From time to time, I do. But if it's not practical, it's not spiritual. Now, if you want to do the design bags, like if you're going to dinner, that's practical. Some people like to do that. Those high arch heels, what is that? We call it piss. Properly interpret the social situation. That's appropriate, I feel. Why not? It's part of the fun. Okay, and she's got this classic heart right here on her stuff. She'll have that. And this is just really nice. It's what some of them call them the camera bag purses, camera bag style purses. And her designs, like this line, Love Betsy, has that practical use in it. And I like that about her. Yeah, there is some stuff that she gets outrageous with. But that's part of being a collector, and that would be those kinds of things that you would, it would be a go out kind of a type of gear. So that is this one. And I think this is another man-made material one, but the MSRP on this is $78. And it is high quality stuff. And I just think this is so cute because she's got a little bit of fun in it, like what she does with her stuff. So, this one. And this is two. I got two of these, because I'm pondering on whether I want to keep one for myself. I've also bought things like if I like it and I really, really like it, I'll buy a couple of them. Because when I wear it out, then I could just use, grab a new one. Because when they do, I hate that when they change designs and stuff. And then, people complain and then they go back to the way they were before. It's like, I don't got time for that. I know this is a good thing. I'm going to get a couple. So, these are super cute. And even these, like this is like really well done, well made. You can see the, the quality of the stitching, all that kind of stuff. All right, so the next lumpy blue sweater that we're going to be fishing out of Betsy Johnson is going to be this one here. This is unbelievable. This is one of her high-end, like the, line of the, see the XOXO. This feels, I kid you not, this feels like it's suede. And it probably is. I'll be looking inside of it, but it really does feel like it is suede. And here, let me kind of get this up and over. And, you can see that little, heart dangling off of it. She's very Halloween-like. She can be kind of like Addams Family, kind of like type person. Okay. This is very nice. It's very practical. It's dainty. It's kind of almost gothic, I guess you could say. It's a very cute purse. All right, let's go ahead and do the take it back. If it doesn't survive the burn test, oh boy, we're going to be having a discussion. If you make it home, you take it back. Do it in the store. I do it in the store. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, we're going to be having a discussion with the store manager. Oh my God, this is so freaking darling. So much care went into this. Holy cow. It is so pretty. See the inside lining? Those flowers and stuff. She has that aesthetic to her. Yeah, it does smell like it. Yeah, like I said, I know it works with leather. I don't know if the burn test works with suede, so I wouldn't go there. But if it's questionable, just don't do it. This is one of her high end ones. I mean, I'm trying to see what the, doggone it. Yeah, it's got to come, they got to have it. It's like one of those do not remove labels on mattresses. That's what you want to find in your goods. Alright. Because, other people's tags, can get hung up on it, and we don't, so they want some kind of a permanently attached tag naming what goods are. Doggone it, I'm trying to find out. Come on. Here, let me take this out and see. Yeah, I don't want to kill the purse trying to do so either. Okay, let's see. I got it right here. This chain is a good quality chain. Okay, she's got... Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Believe it or not, you guys, this is polyester. She did a really great job on it because it feels so much like suede. But it's 100% polyester. She did a damn good job on this. A really good job on this for this being polyester. And, okay, it says all new material, wouldn't you know it? 100% polyester filling materials. Okay. So it says all new material. Some brands do the recycled material. You know what I think is interesting is the vegan line. Some people are doing vegan and it looks like leather. I think that's, some kind of trickery going on there. Because like a different selling point and trying to get you on it, they're calling it vegan. I'm a leather person. They're calling it vegan. Why don't you just call it vinyl? Because vinyl maybe sounds too cheap. All right. So yeah, this is very cute for Betsy. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack this back up. Yeah, this is just very well made, you guys. It is extremely well made, and it feels like polyester. I mean, it feels like suede, and it's like, a really good, they're like, if you understand thread count, most stuff is like 100 thread count, and you've got like 1200 thread count, which is like the finest of finest in materials. This is like the 1200. They're taking like man-made goods and making like using 1200 thread count quality with it. As there are a lot of other places they're doing like the 70 thread count. And like I said, for the lady who wants 70 purses, and if they've got $300 to spend, they're going to want 40 different purses as opposed to one good quality purse. Some people are like that, and that's okay. As a basketer, we do fit within that, so, we don't want to leave that out. So yeah, she's like that lumpy blue sweater that you just fished out of a thrift store. How do you came from here? so oh. Got ya. There's, we're paying for the hours that it took to be put into for these things, right? We're paying for that quality of the materials, like that leather. Hand tooled stuff. Right, got it. um, type of a thing. So I don't want to hurt this too much. So, I don't sell. One thing is that I don't put in my stuff is the high design stuff, and I don't, because it just makes you a target for robbery. But people question: is it counterfeit or is it hot? Because there's a lot of people out there selling hot items, right? So those rioters that are doing those smash grabs in the jewelry stores and the malls and stuff. And then you see people on the street selling that stuff. Well, gee, I wonder where that comes from. And so people are out there are, so apprehensive about that. They don't want to be buying stolen goods. So, I don't really want to put myself in a position for them to question what they're getting. You know what I mean? It's just not, for me, that's just where I'm at with it. So I have a Betsy Johnson stash now. And the next thing that we shop out of the thrift store, let me get to it here. It was so beautiful. It was just this whole display of Betsy. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And of course, they have their display of Juicy and all that kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing like, I don't really want to get into it. There's great people that go crazy, like where they're changing their clothes 3 times a day. I'm not that, definitely not that person. All right, so next that we got out of next lumpy blue sweater that we got is Betsy Johnson. This is I Love Blink SOX. These are makeup remover, 120 cleansing facial wipes. A nice stack of these. And it's like not just that, but it's got the collagen and peptides, the vitamin C, plus retinol, good quality like stuff in here. So we got this one. I got these, which are also Betsy Johnson, and she's got all these wild designs. The roses with the zebras. Thank you for the hearts. I really appreciate you. Ooh, and I got another one. They had a bunch of these, and I wanted to buy all of them, but I was literally at the cash register, paying with change. Let's see here. You know what I mean? Like I was getting change out of my wallet and paying with change. But I was so like I had to leave some behind. It was like that's how good it was. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you. So I got another one. And then I actually got one more of these and I dropped it off to my daughter. And she was shocked. She's like, what? So, let's see here. All right. Next, what we got is, it's like us. They're not just getting a basket. There's time that's put into these freaking baskets. Even if we're LLCing, even if we're LLCing stuff, it's still time and effort that's been put into those designs, right? Someone's, I mean, I'm just saying, people don't know all the hard work that goes into this stuff. It's the same thing, right? So you're not just getting, a basket. You know what I mean? thinking that we just fished a basket out of the thrift store. Thinking, God, you're getting a lot more than that. All right. Next, we're going to start calling my hauls lumpy blue sweaters. We'll call it Prada. Lumpy blue sweaters. Prada. All right. So I got, ooh, I thought I had gotten more. Next lumpy blue sweater is this darling purse. Betsy Johnson's also known for her butterflies, by the way, guys. The hearts. You know, she likes using butterflies. She always puts some kind of a little charm. You know, I just think that is super darling with the purse. And let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get, yeah, same thing. This one is, let's see. Shoot. Okay, it doesn't say. Oh. You know, guys, I had some coffee around here. I need to find it. All right, if it doesn't say it, then most of these, pretty much all of these so far have been the 1,200 count, all man-made materials. I think it's super cute. All right. We gotta tell you more. I forgot about that. All right. Next, Betsy Johnson purse. Oh, baby. Another blue. A baby. God, this blue is just so freaking pretty. Okay. And this little charm is of a butterfly. Isn't that cute? Oh, I just think it is so darling. All these are just super, super cute. And this is the Love Betsy by, you guys can see, by Betsy Johnson line. I mean, just, you know, and here's the strap. And it's got, and light lettering, lighter blue. You know, it's definitely adjustable, but it's got the Betsy lips and the writing on there. And just, you know, the metals, the quality is like a lot more heavier duty, you know, like my Coach and stuff. Yeah, this is darling. Super darling. All right, and she's got her signature right up here on the butterfly. You know, she'll do that. She'll put her signature. Sometimes you can find it embossed in different places. So next thing we got is I have a pink one right here, hot on the market right here. It is so cute. Her stuff is so practical. Like, this is extremely practical. She's got class. This is just so cute. And then she's got the, you know, up here on the butterfly, it says love. It's the Love Betsy line. And she'll put like some kind of inscribing or embossing sometimes on her emblems. Look at that stitching. It is just so gorgeous. Super pretty. And it's just really cute and dainty. Let's see here. Yeah. The MSRP on here is $68. This is just darling, you know? All right. Let's see here. Maybe I'll include a burn night. We'll do the burn test. Is it going to survive the burn test? That would skyrocket my channel, you think? Take us on a shop and, you know, Is it, you know what I mean? A burn night and, you know, check and see if it's real leather or not. All right. Okay. She does a lot of, she has shower curtains, bath mats, bed sets. These are throws. And so I got a throw and it says compare at 30 and then 14.99. I got it for $11.24. I'm telling you, you can feel the quality in her stuff, and she always on throws and stuff you'll find a little emblem down there at the corner with her signature on it. And you know, she tags it really good. But you know, super cute. It's got like the stars, the cake, you know, it's got a cactus over here. It's so funny. Um, Roller skates and lipstick. And, you know, it's got she put her Betsy XOXO, like it's like, you know, part of that cartoon things that they do. Super cute. So this was, you know, it's got the lipstick and everything. It's just so super cute. So this is, I think this is it. This is our last lumpy blue sweater that we found, and the treasure is now ours, lovingly. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Just trying to get everything, you know, like she's rubbing that hard on everything out here. Okay. And I'm telling you, she is really hard to find. My store people said that they get new inventory weekly, you know, but it's just like everywhere else. They don't know when, what day of the week. They just get it once a week. So, you know, so I have a bigger box that is about to throw away. And I'm glad I didn't, because of this haul, you know, her treasure chest is getting bigger. And so, I think she's fun to collect. You know, you have those designers that, you know, it's an actual collection throughout their lifetime of their stuff, you know, and I think a lot of it does hold value, like baseball cards kind of a thing. So that is my Betsy Johnson. And I showed you guys the other night, when I was making Allison's Easter basket, pulling out some Betsy Johnson stuff, and showed what I had thus far. So this all is going to add to that stash. And I ended up doing the half cracked egg and put a Betsy Johnson throw in that, and she loved it. She was just stunned by it. So I'm glad that I can do that. You know, and it's nice to be able to, you know, have it on hand, because I'm telling you what, this stuff's expensive. And it's not that it's not worth it, it's just, for me, you know, the stuff's expensive, right? So, yeah, lumpy blue prices. Designer stuff at lumpy blue sweaters or store prices. So, all right. That's our Betsy Johnson, and you guys just saw my Juicy Couture, her. And what do you guys think? You know, you guys have any feedback? You guys have any questions? You know, you guys want to do a burn test? take you on some hauls and, you know, see what's hot and what's not. I mean, hey, I'm up for it. I mean, I showed you guys, you know, I mean, you know, you know, I know certain brands, coaches, you know, right there. And I know, you know what I'm saying? That was, you know, I had no problem showing what's up with their stuff. Their line holds their truth, right? So, let's see here. Are you Andre? Hi, Andre. How are you tonight? Yeah, we have fun on this channel. We try to, anyways. We do our burn, baby, burn disco inferno. All right. So I wanted to show that with you guys tonight. I also wanted to show, I wanted to discuss it feels like my tongue gets swollen, and it probably is because like allergies and that kind of a thing. So I'm gonna try and slow down my, you know, my coffee is right behind me. Let me grab my coffee, and while I do that, I'm just gonna feature this way for a moment. Focus on this little area because I'm gonna show you guys something. Remember I was telling you it got so hot last year that the candles melted? I'll be right back. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. Might have to microwave this for a few seconds. My throat is getting sore. I've been talking a lot more lately. Let's go ahead and use it for a bit here. Ooh, that's really hot. All right, let me grab a rag. Okay. So I was looking at this the other night when I was showing you guys how I have to redo these. And it got so hot that the candle wax melted. That's what this is. That's melted candle wax. So remember how I showed you guys the clear macaroon box that I had put a tea light in with some shred and used it as a riser for the perfume to sit on? Well, yeah, that's what this is. And so let's see if I can, yeah, I can do that. Just go ahead and do this and show you guys. And sorry, I'm here. Okay, so I wanted to show. See, it looks like a grease spot. That's melted candle wax. First, I thought it got wet, and I was like, what is that? Now I'm going to bring you up in here. Let's see. Where's the... Trying to get you guys lined up with what's going on in here. So you can see right there. See how it melted on the green foam block? So I got to take this out because this carton is no longer good. I got to put a new tea light in there. Wow, it's so crazy. I'm trying to, sorry guys. See how that purple wax melted and got on the foam block? and then soak to the outside of this carton. So I'm gonna have to be redoing this whole thing. What I'll be doing is I'll just be putting it um, in a new butterfly carton because I have a few left over. But yeah, it's super pretty. Loved this design. I just thought this was just, it's a really simple. Um, Things jumped off before I got heat stroke, and people really liked it. So, all right. So what I'm going to be doing, and Miss Nessa over at Nessa's Creations and Designs suggested putting putting it on a block. And so I'm going to be cutting up some cardboard and just creating a better base to bring it out more so the silo can come up so we can see better inside. So I'm going to be doing that tonight, or I should say today. But yeah, this is just, people love this design. It went real well. So if you guys are looking for something, you're looking for lumpy blue sweaters, boy, I hope this is one for you. All right. Okay, I'm going to sign off right now. I just wanted to do, pardon me, I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I really don't do hauls. I'm a busy person, and I'm one of those that when I shop, I like to get everything at once and just get a bunch of it. So, I'm not really one of those just show you everything kind of hauls, but I do it from time to time. So, I'm like I said, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for coming along with me with our BJ night and our burn test. Is that hot or is it not? Yeah, baby. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend or great week up ahead and a wonderful day. Mm-hmm.